Okay, y'all. So, yesterday was the day. Yesterday was the day that I did what God wanted me to do. COV, it's out there. People have the vision, people have the dream of what God is giving me. And this is going to be baby steps, y'all. We just going to move as the Lord desires me to move. And really, it was my prayer this morning, right? Like, I want to be able to move with God. I don't want to move into the grand thing God is calling me to with angst, with worry, stressed and pressed, erratic and uncontrolled and haphazard, just trying to do everything in my own strength. I want to move into this thing and with an ease, with a rest, with a calm, with an assurance that God has got it, right? I want to let God lead. So I don't want to move ahead of them. I don't want to move without him. And I don't want to straggle behind him anymore. I just want to be able to learn how to walk in step with God, how to be in the flow of God with all this. But here's the thing I wanted to share with y'all today. Why yesterday, this thing that I have been waiting for months on came through. Like forward movement. It's not complete, but paperwork was sent, so it's finally made forward progression after seemingly forgot about. It was as though God knew that was the day that I was going to fall into obedience. And of course he knew that was the day I wake up this morning after I've done what God told me to do, finally stepped into it. And it has been interesting, y'all. This project that I'm working on, they come back right away and says, this is where we're at with it. Make the approval. There is another individual with another project that I am working on that called a couple of times today. So I need to go ahead and call them back after the Lord has me doing what I need to do today. I got good news of something coming through this morning that even the person that gave me the news that was handling the situation was floored. Her excitement, her enthusiasm was off the charts. She was like, I don't even understand. I don't even know, but it came through. It was like she could barely contain herself. And she has been doing this for a while. But she was like, that was quick. She was astonished. I just can see how God is using much of your situation to propel you into what he desires you to do. And when you move on what he's called you to do, you release his hand now to move in your life. It is as though we had talked about in Haggai how the Lord used his prophet to tell his people, would you build your house without building my house? You wonder why you work so hard building your house with no fruit. As quickly as it comes to you, as quickly as it blows away, because my house is in shambles. Meanwhile, you build your house. And I could just see that when we tend to the Lord's house, when we tend to the Lord's instruction, the Lord is like, okay, now we can proceed. Now we can move forward. And it is this covenant, this partnership. And it's like we are working to build each other's houses. Like you're building my house and I'm building your house. But I need you to understand, while you are praying and asking for progression in your very home and a thing that matters to you, in establishing what will benefit you and serve you, I want the purpose that I created you for to be fulfilled. As you are praying to me for yours, I am instructing you to build what's mine. Let's do this together. Let's move forward together. I mean, like it was like the faucet that opened. Okay, now this comes through, now this, now this, now this, now that. He's just waiting on so many to act on what he's called them to do. Something is coming, y'all. And I don't have the revelation on what. I just had this image this morning of just calamity that is akin to what you would see in the end of days type of movie, and like superhero villain type of movie, right? In which it's just explosions and sirens and buildings toppling and smoke and cars crashing and traffic and people frantic, and I can see like people hurt, visibly hurt, and I can even see people flying to go get people. Like, it is an incredible scene that the Lord has given me. But I just know that God is preparing us for something great, and he needs us to step into it. He needs us to continue moving forward in this process that he has for us. Whatever God is doing, we are going to see it soon. There is something building. There is something happening. And the situation doesn't look good. I'm hearing right now natural disasters and calamity and floods and earthquakes and deaths. And God wants to use you to be able to help people, to be able to save people. He needs you now in this time to fully step into what he's called you to be ready for it. I know many of you guys are waiting. You're tired of standing still, and you may feel like you're sitting on your thumbs, and you're tired of wondering and you want to see forward progress in your life. You want to experience the promised land. You want to receive some of the blessings. But just as much as you are invested in your own progress, invest in the progress of what God has called you to do. Step into it. Birth what God has placed in you. See, you're not just waiting for a moment for all of a sudden the baby to come. You feel like it's time. You're on the cusp of it. You feel it in your very being. Those are the signs of labor. Will you give birth and push like you never have before to finally have what God has given you manifest itself in reality? It's time. I wanted to share that with you and encourage you. Whatever God has asked you to do it, and do it quickly. Talk soon.